Hey there, survivors, how's it going? I'm your host Douglas here at Drownboy Productions, bringing you another Trick or Treat Studios mask review. And today we'll be continuing our journey taking a look at many different Trick or Treat Studios masks and products by taking a look at yet again another piece from the House of 1,000 Corpses. For years now, Trick or Treat Studios has produced different pieces for Rob Zombie, most of which tie in directly to his films, but they even do have Rob Zombie masks. In the past, we took a look at the Rob Zombie's Halloween masks, and of course, the Captain Spaulding mask from House of 1,000 Corpses, but now recently, we've started taking a look at some of the other House of 1,000 Corpses and Devil's Rejects pieces. So let's go ahead and dive right in. We just got done taking a look at Tiny, and now we're going to be continuing on with another Firefly family member, with Otis Driftwood from House of 1,000 Corpses. I make the distinction for House of 1,000 Corpses because they do also offer a Devil's Rejects version of Otis. And of course, they are very different looking. The Devil's Rejects version is just like greasy, dirty, bloody Otis Driftwood, and of course he does have different features, but this version is of course the fully face-painted look from the end of House of 1,000 Corpses. I'm pretty sure that both masks are made off of the same exact sculpture, but the finishing on them is entirely different. And to be fair, the actual look of Otis in Devil's Rejects versus House of 1K is entirely different. But let's go ahead and start by talking about the mask itself. As for the sculpture, overall I think this is a pretty good sculpture. I think the paint job is really what makes or breaks it. The same can be said with the Captain Spaulding. Some of the factory finishing on those makes the sculpture look not too great, but if you see them repainted, looking accurate, they look really, really nice. And I guess the same could be said for a lot of different Trick or Treat Studios masks that do end up needing a paint touch-up. But overall, the sculpture for the thing is really nice. However, these have been in production for quite a while. So at least the copy I have here has several different mold defects. It looks like they're from hairline cracks in the mold itself. But some of that is sad to see because they are pretty noticeable bits of damage on the face. And I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with the fact they went for the face painted version of Otis here because it looks a lot cooler on display as a mask versus just a regular guy. Don't get me wrong, if you were gonna do an unpainted Otis from House of 1K, I think it could be done to look really creepy because he is a very strange albino looking guy in the original versus in House of 1K, it just looks like Bill Moseley a little bit dirty. The shape of the face paint here I think is not too bad. Obviously it's going to vary from copy to copy. Same can be said with Captain Spaulding. Depending on the version that you pick up, it can look really, really bad or it can actually look really nice. And as for this one, I think the shape of the face paint is actually pretty good for a mass-produced piece. However, the actual application leaves a little bit to be desired because the paint is already coming off in several areas and this is a brand new piece from the factory. I also think that maybe the lines for the teeth on the mouth here are a little bit too thin and those could be a lot thicker and that would look a lot better, but the shape of the face paint itself is pretty well done. I just hate the fact that it's coming off in several areas already. The eyes look pretty good. The actual contact that's painted on there is painted on a little rough. It's not perfectly round and symmetrical, but overall I do like the fact that they at least did give him the red-yellow contact look on the mask. And now we can talk about the hair itself. On this version, you have thin, wispy sideburns coming off the side, which is exactly how he looks in the movie. It's a very strange look and appearance, but Otis, of course, is supposed to be very strange and deranged. And as for the hair on his head, it does not look too bad. The way that they've actually laid the hair down directionally looks really nice. It's maybe a little bit shorter than it should be. I feel like it looks a little bit longer maybe in the advertisements, and I would personally rather have longer hair on a mask that you can trim down to length than have it be too short, but it's still pretty decent length, and for something that you're going to put on a shelf, you don't really need it much longer than that. Now, as for the comfort side of things, the mouth itself is completely sealed, so no breathing from the mouth. The nostrils, of course, are open, so you can breathe there just fine. But as for visibility, you have these tiny little pinholes poked out of the pupils here, and I would think that would be pretty limiting. However, for display purposes, of course, I do think it would be a better idea to leave the eyes in versus having them be cut out entirely, but I will say it is going to be very limiting. Another issue I did want to mention about the hair on the sideburns is how messily they applied the glue. It really is noticeable, and it really detracts from the face paint because all of that glue is a completely different color than that black face paint. I know that that's something that's really hard to remedy on a mass-produced piece, but I would almost rather see the hair punched in on the sideburns, especially with it being so thin and wispy. If they can punch some hair on the haunted mask on the hairline, I would think they could do the same on Otis on the sideburns. And now I reached the point in the video where I read you all the excerpt directly from the Trick or Treat Studios website, so let's go ahead and have a look. Here it says the House of a Thousand Corpses Otis Driftwood Mask for $69.99. Sculpted by Connor DeLess, Trick or Treat Studios is proud to present the officially licensed House of a Thousand Corpses Otis Driftwood Mask from Rob Zombie's cult classic. And that's the entire write-up, short, sweet, and to the point. Personally, I do like it when they give us a bit more information and details on either the product or even just talking about the character itself, but still I suppose it gets the job done. Otis Driftwood is one of the most abhorrent characters in all of horror. Don't get me wrong, the entire family is terrible. Even though we grow to kind of love them and they're almost our main characters, protagonists in a way, they're still awful. Like, don't get me wrong, the entire family's terrible. Spaulding, Baby, all of them genuinely awful people, but in my opinion, none of them are as bad as Otis. Now, as far as my overall thoughts on the mask itself, I think the shape of the paint application is well done, but the quality is not really there. This amount of paint rubbing off and how messy the glue is on the sides makes this thing a little undesirable. This thing was sculpted by Connor DeLess, so it definitely has a nice sculpture at the base of it. So this is one of those masks that you would probably want to repaint, rehair, do a bunch of work to if you picked it up directly from Trick or Treat Studios. But if you're looking for a piece just officially licensed, it is still a cool collectible. So if you're looking for an Otis costume, this might be a little uncomfortable to wear, but will easily get the job done for you. If you're looking for a nice replica, personally, I do think these need a good bit of touch-up work, but if you're just interested in adding it to your collection as an officially licensed piece and you like to have them completely untouched, definitely go ahead and pick up an Otis Driftwood directly from Trick or Treat Studios or one of the many retailers that offers them. And with that being said, I think that about does it. I love you all. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Stay tuned for some more videos coming very soon, and I'll see you next time.